drunk driver. Oh, me and you, yeah, say I do. Oh, me and you, yeah, say I do. Oh, me and you, yeah, say I do. I can remember the day when I laid eyes on you. Whoa, me and you. Hey. Y'all want to hear the full song? Y'all already know how it go. Go check out Mastermind Say I Do on all streaming platforms. Let's get into it. Is this thing on? Is this thing on? Is this thing on? No drunk drivers. I told y'all, got my notes. Oh yeah, we finna do an in-depth analysis on how to get to that point of say I do. You heard the song, you seen the visuals, it's a good look. Good look. Now, this may not be for everybody. If it's not for you, then you can carry on. But if you are someone who wants to get to that say I do moment, pay attention. Got some notes. Got a lot of notes. Let's get into the first couple of, key points, and then I'm going to break it down from there. The man has to want it. The man has to want it. There is nothing you can do to change his mind. Let me say that again. The man has to want it. There is nothing you can do, ladies. There's nothing you can do to change his mind. That's why it is so imperative to implement the vetting process that I'm about to go over and other things so that you are not wasting your time. Time is of the essence. That is an entity that you cannot get back. You cannot get time back. So why waste it? Man has to want it. There's nothing you can do to change his mind. It does not matter how good you treat him. It does not matter how loyal you are to him. None of that matters. He has to want it himself. He has to want it. That's first and foremost. All right. Watch what you're posting online. We're going to get into that. Watch what you're posting. You want to get to the say I do moment, you have to begin to think and act like a wife. You have to think and act like a wife. And what you post, that image that you project publicly, that is very crucial, especially in this time and age of social media. Everybody has one. Whether you like it or not, we all do. And that's just more information. It could be a good tool, but it can also work against you because now it's more people have more access to you. And that nonverbal communication of posting pictures that you think is just totally innocent, well, to a thinking man, right? He looks beyond that. I would not want a wife who's going to subject themselves to those type of provocative images. That's something that as a man who was married, right? I would not want a wife who's going to be showing her body parts to the public and then me as a man proud to say that, hey, this is my wife. That's more of a, I'm not trying to be hurtful or anything like that. That's actually embarrassing to that man, right? And so I'm not going to do a lot of bashing This is just constructive criticism, and I'm going to teach you how to get to that point. The next one is feelings over substance. Now, these are just the main topics. And then now I'm going to break each one down. All right. So let's get into it because I don't want to go too much into the, cutting into my, man, just chill. Just chill, relax, be entertained, and be informed and enlightened. How to get a man to ask for you for marriage is what I have in my notes. Break down how it doesn't just magically happen. It does not magically happen. Yes, I'm going there with this statement. And when I say I'm going there, no. The Lord is not going to bless you with a husband. I know that hurts. Let me say that again. No, the Lord is not going to bless you with a husband. You have to realize that, and just put it to you in practical terms. Things that it's worthwhile. You put in maximum effort. You put in some type of effort. It is not just going to fall from the sky. Let me say that again. You put in effort. Things that's worthwhile, worth having, of value, true value. It's not going to fall from the sky. You do it in your jobs that you pursue, your career that you pursue, schooling, business, even clothing, good clothing. Do you just, and I'm not trying to, be funny with this, but I have to take it there because I know a lot of you subscribe to that theory of thinking, oh, I'm just going to be good. I'm going to go to church and the Lord going to bless me with a husband. I'm just going to be good. And He's going to take care of it all. And it's not me mocking you. I'm not mocking. But I have to go there to kind of pinch you. Yeah, I know. It kind of sting a little bit. You have to realize in order to invoke this change, you have to do something different. You can't continue doing the same thing and expect different results. I'm not saying don't pray. I'm not saying to not subscribe to anything. I'm just saying you have to put in that work, that effort. Now, I know a lot of people get, well, you still have to do fakes without works, all that stuff. I'm not knocking that either. But my goal in this video is to pull you away from common knowledge that you have been applying in trying to achieve this goal. Because the common knowledge that most of you have been applying, it's not working. I see it. It's not working. Be honest with yourself. It's not working. You're not there. You're not. I'm just being honest. It's not working. This is here. This what I'm doing now is to give you something, instruments, instructions that you can apply real time, real life to get the results that you want. So no. You're sitting there, and I'm not, oh, man, you up there mocking the Lord, then you trying to take place of the Lord. No, get that out your head. It's no different than you going to a math class, and you have a math instructor, and they teaching you 2 + 2 = 4. You're not equating that math instruction as if they trying to take the Lord's place or God's place. Right? So don't do that. Don't even bring that up over here. Yeah, I have to pinch you, though. Look how I'm talking. I have to pinch you, though. I have to, just to get your attention. But now that I have it, right? I have to make a disclaimer. This video may not be for you. You may not want to get married. And if that's the case, then it's not for you. I'll just say that, I don't know. I don't want to get too far into that because this video probably going to be long enough. But if it's not for you, it's not for you. You go on into your course, whatever trajectory that pathway. It seems like you're going to be heading down a transactional path. I'm being nice when I say this. Transactional. Yeah. So it is what it is, But here we go. Mistakes. Here goes one of the mistakes. The man has to want it. Like I said before, man has to want it. That is a common mistake, thinking that you can change that man, thinking that you can give that man all of your time, thinking you can give that man 100% effort, 100% loyalty, and he's going to pay it back with hand in marriage and all that good stuff. No, it does not work that way. That is a mistake. So, ladies, you must know that the man has to want it for himself. He has to want it for himself. There's nothing that you can do to change his mind. And everything, not a disclaimer, everything that I'm stating, this is all generally speaking. I don't speak in absolutes. So, of course, there's going to be an outlier. But if you want to live your life according to an outlier, and if you look up the word outlier, right? And then break that down mathematically into the percentage wise of what would be considered an outlier. So if you don't know what an outlier is, I can give you a real life example. Everybody watches sports, right? So, hey, you see this guy right here? He's an outlier. Not every player, even though they have hundreds and thousands of basketball players that's played this game, there's not many Kobe Bryants, is what I'm saying. That's an outlier. Right? That's an outlier. So if you want to put all your hopes in an outlier, oh man, I know somebody that the woman changed. He said the woman changed her mind, changed his mind, and all that stuff. All right, you can go ahead and do this. I'm trying to get you to something that's going to work in general purpose. So percentage wise, I would probably say maybe around a 67, 75, 70% success rate, somewhere around there. That sounds a lot better than the top 1, 2, 3%, which is an outlier, right? So the man has to want it. Solution. So the mistake, man has to want it. Solution. Don't force. Don't pressure. Understand the concept of a man has to want it. So I think I kind of went over that enough. So that is the solution. To understand that concept. Although you may not agree with it, you need to understand that concept. That the man has to want it. That the man has to want it. So that is the solution to that mistake. The man has to want it. All right, we're finna go down to the next one. Mistake. Watch what you're posting online. And by the way, as I'm cooking, the video does get better. So I like to, and I do this purposely, because the people who are really willing to learn, I don't target short-minded, short attention span thinkers. That means you're not taking it serious. So if you don't take your own life and your own relationship serious, then why do you expect for me to take it serious? Why do you want me to do all the work for you? Oh man, you need to chop it down and all this, make it smaller and all. Nah. The true intellectuals, they have books. They sought out that knowledge. Right? And that's the reward, is to gain that knowledge. So if you don't want to put that much time and effort into yourself, then this application won't even work for you anyways. So yes, it does get better. Some of the most important information is going to be later on in this video. Watch what you're posting online. Solution. Always remember, somebody's always watching. Always remember, somebody is always watching. Don't get caught up in the views. Don't get caught up in the clicks. It does not matter. As soon as you do anything publicly, somebody is always watching. Always. You need to carry and conduct yourself as such. So how does this apply to what I'm talking about? Well, that hubby, that man that has his stuff together, guess what? He is potentially watching too. You see, he's not going to come across and hey, such and such. I'm the man who has his stuff together. They don't walk around like that. It doesn't happen that way. right? It does not happen that way. So it happens in subtle gestures, subtle ways. And a subtle way is simply clicking up on your page. He may be interested in you. That man may be ready to settle down. And before he even talks to you, he may know you. He may know of you. And he's going to click on your page. And trust me, if you're doing something that is not becoming of a wife, of a lady, that is counted against you. I'm not saying to slip up, there's anything can be, within context, right? Nobody's saying like, oh man, look at her. She went to a party. Oh no, that's not a wifey material. Nah. But if you're doing things constant and consistent, that shows like, yo, this is actually her behavior of being provocative this way and all this other stuff. Mind you, if a man is looking for a wife, he's also looking for a parent to his child. And so he has to see you and view you as a woman that he would want to help raise his child. And if he has a daughter, he's going to pick a wife that if they were to have a child together, his daughter would have somebody to look up to. This is all done before the child is conceived. We just doing it in a practical way. I know it don't always work that way, but if a man is seeking out a wife, these are the things that he's thinking about. So it's not only that, hey, we want to test our compatibility, we're also checking and viewing for your value system and what you adhere to. And a lot of times we're not going to get to the point of the conversation. So what we can do is just look at your page and see how you act and see how you conduct yourself. And is that becoming of this wife that this man is seeking? If it's not, he's just going to move along. You got to remember that this man that you all, you want falling from the sky and all this other stuff, the man who has his stuff together, he knows he has his stuff together. If he has his stuff together, 10 times out of 10, he's put in that work to get to that point. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later on. So he knows this. So you got to kind of check yourself. This is a competition message. Oh, yes, it is a competition. You are competing against other women. It is what it is. I have to say things to sting, to pinch, in order to get your attention so that you can realize, like, okay, and that's how I'm going to draw you away from that common knowledge thought process, right? But always remember that man is somebody's watching. And that could be you may say, nah, I'm going to post what I post. It don't matter. He can kick rocks or whatever. Yeah, you just scared your husband away. And that's why you keep ending up with these dirtbag type men. Message. That's why you keep ending up with these dirtbag type men. And I'm speaking to all women of all ethnicities, by the way. People think, it's all black. No. I'm talking to all of you. I'm talking to all of you. All right. Let's get on with the next one. All right. I think I went over to the next points. All right, so this is a continuation. This is a continuation of what I said. Watch what you post. So here are some examples of things to watch with your post. Cursing, vulgar language. That's not wifey material. Dressing provocative. Skimpy clothing. That's not wifey material. Why? And I'm just going off the notes right here, then I'll elaborate. I may have even talked about it before, but hey, reiteration sometimes equals penetration in the brain. Yeah, no, that's a bar. Why? It show that you can be an unfit parent. That's what I said, right? Would he want his daughter to mimic you? It shows that you will potentially embarrass him in public. Mm-hmm. Guess what? It also shows that you don't have a business mind. Now, I'm saying generally speaking, if you're thinking of a man who has his stuff together, 10 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10, he's probably financially stable and he's probably did a lot of work to get to a certain point. And he does not want to jeopardize what he has accomplished and obtained throughout this lifetime. He also has a reputation that he wants to protect. He does not want to worry about you damaging his reputation. I know that sounds selfish, but hey, we are people. We are individuals before we become as one. We are individuals before we become as one, as in marriage. So that's why, that's part of that man doing his due diligence before he selects his wife. So when you're disregarding advice like this, saying that I'm going to dress however I want to dress, I'm going to talk however I want to talk, I'm going to do what I want to do, whatever man you fall in line, what you are doing is scurrying those potential husbands away. And do not get caught up in the numbers when I say this. And this is not even on my thing. I'm gonna go to my next thing, and then I'm gonna follow through. Solution: limit curse words. Right? Limit your curse words. Everything is within context. I get it, but limit your curse words. We are adults, so we understand. We're not saying that the woman has to be an angel, somebody has to be a saint, right? But limit your curse word. Too much of anything is no good. Just think about it like that. And that's one of the rules that I generally live by. Too much of anything is no good. And I apply that all across the board. No need to show your body. You actually get more credit than when you don't show your body. You do. These are wifey. You get wifey material points. You get elegant points when you don't show your body. Message, ladies, men are men. I don't care how accomplished this man is. I don't care what profession that he's in. I don't care how many degrees that he has. He's still a man, and he's still physically attracted to woman. So clothing, we can see right through that. You may think that because you're covering your body up, it's like, oh, I'm not able to lure this man in because he's not able to, get a little peek of the goods. Guess what, ladies? We already see your goods. Every man has a trained eye. It doesn't matter if you're wearing, you see the Muslim woman. I think that's the proper term. They got the whole body covered. Guess what? The man can still see what's up on under that. Yeah, I know they go to joke, but I'm being serious. You can still see. Yeah, that's how messed up in the head we are. Yeah, it's just truth. It's just truth. So you might as well go and get the wifey points, get the elegant points. You actually increase your value amongst the opposite sex, which is the man, if you dress accordingly. Now, everything within context. Of course, I mean, if you want to be, there's ways to circumvent anything. So if you want to really just show off your body, go to the beach. See, now we can we look at that within context. Well, she's wearing a bathing suit on the beach. That's still classy. If you just want to show your body off that much to everybody. But I'm telling you, luring that man in with that, you're luring him in with your physical traits. What that does to the man's mind, what you're landing in the physical zone. So now he's not even thinking about the mental and all the other stuff that you may bring, all the other values that you may have. Once it gets stuck in the physical, first thing come to our mind is sex. That's it. So now you're attracting guys and converting that attraction to sexual pursuit. This is how you continuously end up with the wrong guy because he's pursuing you for sex. He's pretending to get to know you because 9 times out of 10, he knows he can't just walk up to you and just say, hey, let's have sex. So he's going to act like he's very interested into you. But now what you have done has lowered yourself out of wifey material into, all right, well, I'm just going to deal with you on the physical level. And he's going to use manipulation tactics, right? The good conversation and all the other stuff. Because it's like, hey, I'm still here. I can just use, I hate to say it this way, I'd use her for sex, but then I'm still going to save my wifey slot for the woman who's being elegant, classy, all the other stuff. I'm trying to elevate you from that, the nonchalant slot, right, into the wifey slot. It doesn't matter how good you look, anything like that. Anybody can get lowered from that wifey slot. I'm trying to teach you and tell you how to elevate yourself or maintain that wifey slot. That's what you're going after. That's what this video is about. So just know that yes, you may get a lot of attention by luring men in with your body parts. But what you have done is converted that attention into a sexual pursuit. That is why you continuously end up with the wrong type of guys. Because guess what? A man, any man can engage in sexual pursuit. A homeless man can engage in sexual pursuit. You have now lowered yourself to be in the company of people with, there's no vetting. So meaning there's no standard. There's no standard to even pursue you. There's no level or nothing to block all the nonsense off. You lowered yourself into sexual pursuit. So that means any man that's walking this earth thinks that he's qualified to pursue you. Versus an elegant woman who's presenting herself a certain way, right? Talking a certain way. That's a deterrent for those guys. They're going to see that. A few will try to still, because, we throw it off in the head. A few of us will still attempt, but for the most part, a man will see that, and we'll see that type of woman and think to ourselves, okay, she means business. You know what? I'm not going to even try those little games on her. She looks like she's not going for it. You'll be surprised how much that works. Of course, I know I'm not a woman, so a woman may counteract, say, "No, I still get pursued." I just told you, this is generally speaking. I don't speak in absolutes. And you should be able, at least be able to vet if a man is not qualified, like seriously underqualified to be talking to you in that manner. You should. But this is going to help you get to that point. But you actually get more points, wifey points, right? By being elegant, classy. And like I said before, the man is able to see anyway. We can still see the curves and all that stuff. It doesn't matter what you wear, but you get the points if you're dressing and behaving in a certain way. I can guarantee you that. Versus dressing provocative, showing your body, and it's like, okay, well, that could be a bust down at best, because we're still men. Even the man with his stuff together, he's still gonna be doing manly stuff until he gets to that point, of saying I do all that stuff, wifey time. But up until then, I don't know. To me, it just seems like you should want to be categorized in a different level than just a bust down. Stop doing that to yourselves, please. All right. Here goes another mistake. You all miscategorize aggression as confidence. A lot of times, a lot of women, you think that just because the man is pursuing you. You know, he has the confidence to pursue me. He has the confidence to speak to me. He walked up to me. A lot of times that's how it goes. That's generally speaking. I'm not saying that just because a woman may do an advance towards the man or whatever, uh, like that's a bad thing. But generally speaking, the man is going to pursue the woman. But a lot of times, you women, you miscategorize aggression as confidence. That's wrong. See, what you're doing is you're you're not categorizing that sexual aggression. And by miscategorizing sexual aggression, you end up rewarding bad behavior. This is why it's very important to get to the vetting process, which I'll get to next. You seeing what I'm doing? I'm breaking this down. I'm breaking this down into 1, 2, 3. You are miscategorizing aggression as confidence. No, no, no. Aggression, a lot of times, that's a sign of sexual aggression. And that comes, it shows in a pause, but it shows in the form of pursuit. And you all mistake that as a man being confident within himself. Stop doing that. That is another mistake. So the solution, do not reward aggressive behavior. Now, what I'm saying that is, of course, 9 times out of 10, the man will pursue you. What I mean by do not reward aggressive behavior, meaning do not give him credit, unearned credit, for things he has not proven. Just because he comes up to talk to you does not mean he is a man that is confident within himself. Just because he comes up and talks to you, right? All that stuff does not mean this is the confident man that I'm looking for. So many times I hear ladies saying that they want a man of confidence, all this other stuff. I get it. There's nothing wrong with that trait. Just know that sexual aggression can be miscategorized as confident. That's a mistake that you all are making, and that's just how you are ending up with the wrong type of man. I told y'all it hit different over here. The stuff that I'm able to do and break it down, I'm popping my collar. So what? So what? Why shouldn't I pop my collar? Nobody else breaking it down like this. It is what it is. When you have that truth, and when your truth is a flex, you don't have to lie. Man, that hit hard. I know you don't like it. So what? Let's get into the next one. Here go the big one right here, though. Pause. Here go one of the big ones. Feelings over substance. Feelings over substance. This is one of the most important ones. Feelings over substance. That is probably the biggest mistake that I see out here. Feelings over substance. I cannot stress that enough. I cannot stress that enough. All right, let's get into it. Feelings. What do I categorize as feelings? And unfortunately, a lot of women are using feelings to select their man, their mate, because it's your choice. You have the power of choice. Always remember that. You have the power of choice. Always remember that. And that is a great power. A very great power. You have it. And you give it away. Feelings. He make me laugh. He dress good. Feelings. He smell good. Feelings. He tall. Feelings. He has great conversation. Feelings. These are just a few. These are some of the main ones. That's why I have listed. Without proper knowledge, without a true vetting process, if you're a man, and you know I'm not lying, men and women can attest to this. If you're a man that can make a woman laugh, you dress good, you smell good, you're tall, and you have great conversation, you can probably get any woman you want. And guess what? That has nothing to do with substance. Let me say that again. If you're a man and you can make a woman laugh, you dress good, you smell good, you're tall, and you have great conversation, you can get any woman you want. And it has zero to do with substance. And substance is what you should be using to gauge said man. Now, I'm not saying these things you should just throw that to the wayside. Of course, if you're a woman, you want a man that'll make you laugh, who dress good, who smell good, tall, got great conversation. Of course, I'm not stupid. Yeah, people may say I am. Even I call myself stupid, but no, I'm not stupid. Of course, I understand this. But this is feelings. It has nothing to do with substance. So, what you need to do, and this is what I am imploring you to do, is move feelings into a secondary category. That is a secondary category. So after you implement a vetting process and he still checks out, then you go to the, okay, does he make you laugh, dress good, all that stuff, smell good, great conversation? Boom, now you're getting it complete. That's the real total package. Because another thing, ladies, let me give you another nugget. He make me laugh. He dress good. He smell good. He tall. He got great conversation. These are things that can easily be implemented. He may not start off that way, but that man can implement that into his repertoire. But see, that substance is real deal. That's something you just can't boom, snap, and do. No. Substance is an earned value. Substance is something that men work hard to achieve. Substance is something that cannot be easily duplicated. Because I can duplicate all those. And to be honest with you, this is just real talk, transparency. And I'm not perfect, so I'll use myself as an example. I pride myself being a man of substance. But if it's somebody who I'm not taking serious or whatever, just throughout my lifetime, you best believe I led with the bullshit. Uh-huh. Oh yeah, I was probably the most funniest guy in that room. I knew how to dress good, smell good, make you laugh, good conversation. Just to get what I want. Yeah, because I know it works. Every man knows this works. That's why they do it. Every man knows that works. That's why they do it. Even men with no substance, more importantly, they know this works. That's why they do it, because it can be easily duplicated. It can be easily duplicated. That's why they do it. Real substance cannot be easily duplicated. That's why they don't do it. That's why there's levels to this. To a trained eye, I can look at a guy, it'll take me 5 minutes to see whether that man got substance or not. I don't care if it's whether on social media, real life, whatever. I can see that guy and be like, oh man, that dude full of shit. Don't mess with him. He full of shit. 5, 10 minutes, or maybe just one conversation. One conversation, I can tell that man full of shit or not. That's what I'm trying to get you to do. Get to that point. You may say, "Oh, Brian, what you talking about? Why you looking at man talking about man? You know you can tell if he full of shit or not." I don't want no friends who full of shit. So I'm implementing the same thing. I'm telling you to implement this vetting process, right? I don't want nobody around me who full of shit, and you shouldn't either. That's why I'm giving you the jewels. Here goes some misnomers before I get into the solutions of those feelings, because I said feelings over substance, right? So it's only right that I break down what I consider to be substance. But let's get into some misnomers first before I get into that substance. Misnomers. Bad boys are good in bed. You know, the thugs throwing it up. The bikers, roam, roam. The Vato Locos. Even the triad. Yeah, the Asians, you can get it too. This is grown folk convo, so this shouldn't shock anybody. But I know it's another pinching moment. I'm a poke and prod a little bit. Let me go over again before I give you what I'm about to say. Misnomers. Bad boys are good in bed. Thugs, bikers, Vato Locos, the triads, all the bad guy stuff. They get the credit for being good in bed. So some of you women take this knowledge and you're like, "Oh, I want the bad boy. They fun, they excited, they know how to work it." Yeah, I know the talks. I know the talks. Guess what? Nerds, quiet guys, schoolboys. Y'all think that they not good in bed. Ladies, let me tell you. Now, of course, how a man is going to explain to a woman about how another man good in bed or not. Yeah, I know. I'm creeping up on Paul's territory. I ain't gonna lie to you, because it do sound a little crazy coming, from me. Pause. But let me tell you this. Think about it. Nerds, quiet guys, schoolboys, guess what? They study. What do you mean they study? Yeah, they study. Nerd, quiet guy, schoolboys, they know their deficiencies. They know and aware of their surroundings. They know that people look at them a certain way, right? And so what they do is, because they know this, they study. They study. Listen. Got to read between the lines. They study. They know they are the underdog in those, in certain situations. So they study. Let me give you an example. Nerds, quiet guys, schoolboys. Guess what? They study. So think of fights. There's plenty of nerd, quiet guy, schoolboys who are trained fighters. You think they can't fight. They think the way you're thinking, meaning they know that you see them as a person who cannot fight. So what they do is go study and learn the real fighting techniques. Follow me as I'm going. I just told you that, hey, y'all say these guys are not good in bed. I'm telling you. Nerds, quiet guy, schoolboys, they study. When I was training, I even showed you, my gi and all that other stuff. I didn't see no bad boys. I didn't see the thug, Vato, Locos, and bikers and triads up in those classes. I seen guys who were nerds, quiet guys, schoolboys. But they can whoop your ass, though. That's who I was training with. So being a nerd, quiet guy, schoolboy, and I can attest to this because I'm in that class. We understand what we lack in. So what we do is almost overcompensate to overcome that hurdle. I knew it coming out of high school. Part of the reason why I went to here. If you can't see, that's that military. Yeah, so I know that. So it's like, hey man, nah, I want to get these tools under my belt because I'm aware of people looking at me a certain way, or I feel that they're looking at me a certain way. So I need to shore up these deficiencies. That way, if I am presented with an opportunity or a situation to where now I got to prove myself that I do not lack those deficiencies, I am trained and equipped to do so. Let that sink in. Hopefully you are following me and reading between the lines. And I'm using myself, right? Because I'm just being real though. Now it's not me bragging about whatever. I know I'm not the only quote unquote nerd, quiet guy, schoolboy who took on this approach. And this is why I gathered to this. I come to this conclusion, even though I'm not witnessing it. That's what I'm saying. That's why it's close to being pause worthy. No, hell no, I'm not witnessing it. Don't even play with me like that. Come on, man. This ain't one of, I don't do all that. Don't even play with me like that. But if I'm in, and because as a nerd, quiet guy, schoolboy, and I had all of these deficiencies, right? Things that I knew that perception, especially, people would look at me a certain way. I'm like, no, I don't want them to look at me a certain way. So I need to achieve these things, right? Achieve these things so that you still may look at me a certain way, but I know deep down inside, oh yeah, I got the tools. So I did this with career. I did this with toughness, strengthness, manhood, all this other stuff. Tough, I say toughness. I ain't saying I'm the toughest guy in the world, but being confident, trying to handle yourself. All these things that you're not sure of, I went in and put in that work to achieve it. That way, it's like, okay, I got it now. Oh man, that ain't nothing. And every time I would go into these different areas to shore up my deficiencies, stuff that I know I was, or like I said, the perception to shore that up. I saw the nerds, the quiet guys, and schoolboys every time I was in those realms, whatever you want to call it. Every time, whether it's college, whether it's military, whether it's jujitsu, nerds, quiet guys, schoolboys. And so, business. So if I'm like, all right, if these are the guys who were in there, generally speaking, who are under these categories, that they are in these rooms to better themselves in a to dispel misnomers. What makes you think they're not doing that to what we were just talking about earlier? To dispel a misnomer of, the bad boys. They're the ones that's good in bed. Ladies, and this is another reason why I know. Like I said, this is not me witnessing it, because that's on the other side of stuff, and I don't do that. What I need you to know is men aim to please. Let me say that again. Men aim to please. So what I mean by that is it doesn't matter whether you're a thug, a biker, vato loco, triad, you nerd, schoolboy, quiet guy, does not matter. Men aim to please other women. Let me add that in there. Men aim to please women. So if you understand that concept, that dispels that misnomer. So, because a lot of women, I believe, they get caught up into that, where the quote unquote bad guys, they're fun and all these other things, and like I just said, that misnomer. I don't know how else to spell it out than to just say it straightforward. But after all this, what I've just said, you should be able to put two and two together and see where I went with that, what I was during my explanation. Yes. And if you think I'm lying, go to a quiet guy, go to a nerd, go to a schoolboy. We're talking about adult women, and ask them that question and see what they say. Ask them and see what they say. All right. Just to be clear, like I said, not by experiences or witnesses, meaning I didn't witness the quiet guy doing the stuff, whatever the stuff in bed. Hell nah. Don't even play with me like that. But you get what I'm saying. Oh, man, I didn't knock down Grogu, man. Why y'all ain't telling me that? That boy Grogu, man. Shout out to that boy Grogu. Yeah, this Grogu right here, man. That boy Grogu, man. Yeah. Shout out to that boy Grogu. No, but serious though. If you get what I'm saying, you can put two and two together. That's what I came up with. That's my conclusion. And that dispels that misnomer. And it's no shot at the quote unquote thugs, gangsters, bikers, vato locos, triads, whatever you want to call them. I'm here to educate and enlighten. All right. So you remember I said feelings over substance. And I labeled feelings. He make me laugh. He dress good. He smell good. He tall. He has great conversation. And how any man with those qualities could probably get virtually any woman that he wants, even though he has not displayed any acts of substance. Feelings over substance, that is the most important rule of this entire video. So if you lasted this long, that means you took it serious. And I'm telling you, if you apply the things that I talk about in this video, you will be on your way to success, to that say I do moment. Solutions. Substance. Because the feelings over substance, that is the mistake. So what is substance? Substance, you can define it many different ways. But I had to do some critical thinking in order to define it in a way that it could be applied in real time, real life. Not just generally speaking or what have you. Hey, just get a good man. Everybody says that. How do you do that? Right? Substance. I start off with being goal orientated. You figure this out through common conversation. Meaning he's talking about his plans for the future. What he's doing to secure said future. What he's actually working towards. What he sees for himself and possible family in the future. career goals, business goals, entrepreneurship goals. That's what I mean by that's what I mean by goal orientated. So when you're having those phone conversations during the dating phases and that man is not speaking in a goal orientated fashion, that should be a red flag because that is an indication he may lack substance. Or let's say he's already achieved his goals. Ask him how did he get there, and then if he lays out that plan on how he achieved said goals, more than likely that man has substance. Now we're finna break it down some more on why I weigh so heavily on being goal orientated. But I lead with that. And you should too. Lead with that. Goal orientated. Future plans, how to get there. What is he doing to actually achieve? What work is he putting in to achieve said goals? And if he's already achieved said goals, ask him how did he get there? What was his route? Military, college, whatever, business school, tech school, something. Film studies or whatever. He traveled to over here to get the best. He wanted to be an apprentice. Whatever it is, he will lay it out to you. What this does, this gives you insight into the future, his future, and also financial stability. Financial stability. Insight into the future and financial stability. This is what you want to kind of peek. You want to look into that. That's what that goal-orientated conversation, it should give you insight into the future and his ability to be financially stable. So he may not have it now. If he doesn't have it now, don't hold that against him. Listen to what type of plan he has. Pay attention to the type of how he's describing. You want to really pay attention to his work ethic. And if he has not achieved it, ask him why. And then, he should be able to explain what he's doing currently to get to that goal. See, a lot of times you want the finished product. That's cool. But thing is, to get that finished product, you have to be a finished product yourself. It's a lot easier to get that man on the way up than the guy who's already up. The man who's already up is going to be a little bit less patient with you. I'm being honest. Now he's more skeptical because he knows he has something that most people want, most women want. He knows that the ranking have changed. Now he's the desired guy. Why you think it's so hard and difficult to get into that realm of, multimillionaires and all that other stuff? They're skeptical at this point. Not saying that you shouldn't, or not saying that they're even good guys, or I'm just giving that example of when you already have achieved that goal, when a man has achieved said goals, a part of that comes along with that is skepticism. I'm just being honest. So it is easier to catch him early. That way you can prove your worth. Show how loyal you are. Hey, man, she was with me when I didn't have this. Now I got this. Hey, man, she was solid. I got to be 100 with her. She 100. Before I even achieved all this, she was there with me. You hear that a lot of times in success stories when people doing documentaries and stuff like that. I listen to those things, right? And so when a man lays out his plan, what that does is displays work ethic. So goal orientated is substance, financial stability, substance, work ethic, substance. Why is work ethic considered a substance? It's layered. Everything I'm saying is layered. So we start with goal orientated, financial stability, and then work ethics. That is all substance, and it's still going. I'm still going to break it down even further. You know what that displays? Because in order to have that work ethic, you must have discipline. That is another substance. Discipline. And in order to have discipline, you must make sacrifices. That is a substance. I put that in the substance category. So we have goal orientated, insight into the future, which leads to financial, we're peeking into his financial stability. Work ethic. Work ethic displays discipline. And in order to have discipline, you must make sacrifices. This is substance. These are the things you should be looking into. Sacrifice, discipline, work ethic, financial stability, goal orientated. You should be, if you want to have that say I do moment, probably, with the husband, you probably want to have kids. Guess what? Most men who have those types of traits that I just displayed, more than likely he's going to be a protector. Meaning he will do whatever it takes for his family. That's the type of man that you want. This is substance right here. And it all goes into what? Being a great father. Substance. And it still I still got another trinket. So I just said goal orientated. Insight into the future. You're looking into his financial stability. Work ethic. It displays discipline. Right? And in order to have discipline, you must be able to sacrifice. That leads credence to this man being a protector, which are the traits of a great father. These are all substance. And guess what? How does this all benefit you as the woman? In order to be a great father, we must have a woman. I wish I could drop the bomb on that one right there. In order to be a great father, we must have a woman. A man of substance knows this. This is why he vets very carefully on who he chooses to be his wife. Remember, I told you, full circle moment in the beginning of the video. I said that man has to be ready and willing to get married. You cannot do anything to change his mind. Right? But when that man is ready to get married and he's a man of substance, I guarantee you most of the men of substance, they have these traits that I just listed. Let's go over it one more time. Goal orientated. You get this through the common, conversation during the dating phase. That gives you insight into the future because you're looking for that financial stability. Financial stability, more than likely, we want to see if he can achieve that if he shows that he has work ethic. Work ethic displays discipline. Discipline, in order to have discipline, you must make sacrifices. If you have those traits, more than likely this man will be a protector. And if he's a protector, this leads credence to him being a great father. And you combine all of those together, and that man knows, in order to be a great father, he must have a woman, a wife. That's it. That's the message. Now let me go ahead on, man, because I had my battery getting low. So, in conclusion, If you prioritize substance over feelings, you are now alert, on the lookout, and able to identify the man who has his ish together, which can potentially lead to you having a say I do moment. Let me say this again before I close out. In conclusion, if you prioritize substance over feelings, you are now alert. You're on the lookout and able to identify the man who has his ish together, which can potentially lead to a say I do moment. Mic drop. If this is the mic, I'm finna drop it. I didn't drop the mic on y'all. I think that's it, man. What more can I say? I just broke it down to you. That's it. No drunk drivers. I'm out. Peace.
Yes, say I do. Yes, say